No sooner than Crown Czar posted episode 1 to YouTube, 20 minutes later we received a call from Daniel Goldman. In a nutshell, he threatened us with a lawsuit for defamation of character and extortion. We explained to Mr. Goldman that defamation of character would mean that the allegations would have to be false. And because of how heated the conversation got, we were unable to explain to Mr. Goldman at the time, but extortion would mean that we would have to be demanding something for nothing. So for the record, here is the offer we made. The fundamental flaw of unbanked.com is that UNBNK is not backed by anything except customers' depositing and spending habits. That's it. That's why it keeps dropping in value, because no one is going to spend money at a loss. Once customers find out that they are losing money with every deposit and every purchase, they stop using the service. It only takes for this to happen once, and you'll likely never use the bank account or the block card again. With gas prices and inflation, times are hard enough as it is, let alone trying to use a debit card that has you spending at up to a 40% loss in value. People simply aren't going to use the block card, and they're not going to deposit money into accounts that depreciate so quickly. It's a bad business decision for anyone, and it simply doesn't make sense. And that's why UNBNK will continue to drop until you get new customers who find out the same thing, and you're right back where you started all over again. On top of all of this, customers like Crown Czar and those on Trustpilot and Reddit are not given full disclosure when opening these accounts. So they are taken completely by surprise when they lose such significant value so quickly. Crown Czar lost 20% in less than 3 hours. And if you tell customers up front that by using the Visa debit card, they are making an investment in the unregulated, unsecured crypto token UNBNK, and that UNBNK could end up being zero, worthless, or not tradable at all, and that they could end up losing up to the entire value of their account, and in fact, some people already have, then more than likely your customer base would dry up rather quickly. So at Crown Czar, we don't believe in problems. We believe in solutions. And we made Unbanked an offer to solve its problem of an always depreciating token value by offering you an additional stream of revenue to back the token itself. UNBNK keeps dropping in value because customers are losing money with every deposit and every purchase they make. So they stop making deposits and purchases. It's as simple as that. So let's take a small percentage of your valuation. We recommend just 1% to start with, and use that to generate revenue that backs the token and keeps it afloat. What we are offering Unbanked is a private membership agreement where Crown Czar produces 50% in predictable annual revenue on anything placed under our private custody. That means at the end of a year, $1.2 million would generate $600,000 in revenue. Anything above 50%, Crown Czar keeps. And if Unbanked would follow the United States capital requirements for banks and place 4% of their valuation under private custody, roughly $4.8 million, Unbanked would generate $2.4 million in additional revenue to back the token itself. Mr. Goldman told us to take him at face value and watch our account go back to its original value, knowing full well that the only way that would happen is if deposits and spending were trending upward. As the CEO, we're certain that Mr. Goldman has access to every in-house analysis tool one could possibly imagine. So he had to know UNBNK was trending downward. 5 months later, we're now headed towards a 60% loss. I think it's fair to say that deposits and spending didn't go up. And that's why UNBNK needs a predictable stream of revenue to keep it afloat. The irony of all of this is in our private presentation to Mr. Goldman, we showed him all trades made so far this year. And we have data that goes back over 4 years, proving we can consistently provide this type of predictable revenue to keep the token afloat, and he literally laughed in our face. We don't want anyone, including unbanked leadership, attorneys, employees, or our friends on YouTube, to think that we took matters as far as we are willing to take them without attempting to provide a serious solution to a very serious problem. We had to get the attention of Unbanked because the CEO responded to a very serious offer with laughing and tears emojis. Being dismissive of an organization that has lost more than 50% of their account value after you advise them to hold on to it, that has taken the time to put together an offer to solve this problem, is insensitive at best. And worse, you could be passing on a solution to a problem that could change the trajectory of Unbanked for good. Crown Czar would not be making you this offer if we were not able to provide you with 50% in predictable annual revenue. Imagine the power of a token, the first of its kind, that is backed by a source of independent, significant, and predictable revenue. Consistent revenue that is generated independent of unbanked business activities, giving UNBNK actual value instead of its value being tied exclusively to customer deposits and spending habits. Since we know that Unbanked is not a bank and is an administrative platform only, UNBNK is arguably one of the most important assets Unbanked has. Just like without Visa, without UNBNK, Unbanked doesn't work. Now look, we understand, and we know you do too, that past performance is no guarantee of future results. This is why we're offering a 90-day trial period where you can watch your private custodial account grow in real time. Unbanked simply opens a margin account with Interactive Brokers, who boast the lowest margin fees in the business, and Crown Czar takes custody of that account by changing the password and starting to trade. Unlike Mr. Goldman's initial response, we want you to really consider what we are offering instead of being immediately dismissive. And we would like to have a conversation about it because this could seriously revolutionize Unbanked virtually overnight. Clearly, you have customers who believe they have been taken advantage of, and statistics show that less than 1% of victims who believe they've been scammed ever leave a review. In fact, Crown Czar has not left a review. Now, we haven't counted how many negative reviews are on Trustpilot alone, but let's say it's 100. Matter of fact, let's just say it's 50. Multiply those times 100, and you've got 5,000 customers who believe they have been taken advantage of. You would know these numbers better than we do because you're the one receiving the complaints. We don't know why you rebranded Turnio to UNBNK, but it stands to reason this, at least in part, had something to do with it. Crown Czar lost 20% of its deposit within the first 3 hours of making it. Mr. Goldman gave us financial advice to hold on to a token that he was privy to insider information on and likely knew UNBNK was trending downward and we would lose significant value. We are making you the same offer you made us with one caveat. Our private trading is virtually guaranteed to generate 50% annually for Unbanked over the next 12 months. In your terms of service, you mentioned that Unbanked may generate income on cash deposits that aren't used to purchase crypto assets via a network of program banks, primarily by depositing this cash in interest-bearing bank accounts. We can't imagine these accounts are bearing anywhere near 50% in annual revenue. And to produce this revenue, all we ask is for 10% up front. Take 1.2 million, 1% of the Unbanked overall valuation, call it a token float fund, send 120K to Crown Czar, and for a trial period of 90 days, Put the remaining 1,080,000 into an interactive broker's margin account. We will take custody of the account by changing the password and beginning to trade. We will give you monthly reports, and you will watch as this account grows, and within 90 days, you will likely be in profit already. Unbanked offers its products and services and even encourages investors to hold on, irrespective of known downward trending in UNBNK. And Crown Czar is offering its services to unbanked with the full knowledge that the private account we are offering has generated no less than 60% annually and has consistently done so for over 4 years now. Anything over 50% annually, Crown Czar keeps. Unbanked CEO said, "Take me at face value and watch as your account returns to its original value." Crown Czar says, "Take us at face value and watch as your account accumulates 50% over the next year." Daniel Goldman threatened legal action. Why spend money on a lawsuit when you could make money instead? We could sit up and go back and forth with Visa, the FTC, the SEC, and the Financial Conduct Authority until this ends up in court, and Unbanked files a complaint, and Crown Czar files its motion to dismiss for failure to state a claim upon which relief can be granted. Perhaps it moves forward. Crown Czar files its answers and counterclaims, so on and so forth. All the while, this story has become viral. People are following the story on YouTube. And who knows, perhaps Visa doesn't want to open up the EU and the UK with these kinds of allegations being litigated in court. And maybe people following agree with Crown Czar that your current disclosure is simply not sufficient to warn customers of the risks involved. And maybe a court of law thinks so too. But we don't have to worry about all of that because Crown Czar is offering you a win-win-win situation. 3 wins. Unbanked wins because you create a scalable, consistent stream of additional revenue that backs the UNBNK token. Crown Czar wins because we fulfill the duty we owe to future customers to actually do something about our experience that goes beyond simply making a complaint online. And finally, the most importantly, the customer wins because with the help of Crown Czar, Unbanked will have created a new type of crypto token backed by an independent third-party revenue stream that supports the token at all times. We can provide 50% for up to $12 million under private custody. That's $6 million in additional revenue to back the token and keep it afloat at all times. With a 90-day trial, you'll see for yourself before making a commitment. With the account opened by Unbanked and merely in the custody of Crown Czar, Unbanked capital is only a password away. You literally have nothing to lose and everything to gain. If up to $6 million in additional revenue is what Mr. Goldman calls extortion, then maybe we don't know what extortion really is. The only question remaining is, do you want to back UNBNK with predictable revenue or not? Shoot us an email to crownczar@protonmail.com and say, send us the report. We will send you a year-to-date Excel spreadsheet of all our private trades, including all winners and losers. Let's schedule an appointment and sit down and talk about it. As always, this is a limited time offer. It's a no-brainer. So we give 7 days to either accept or reject the offer. Thank you for your time, and we look forward to hearing from you soon.